Hello and welcome again to Racecraft. I'm George May, and as you can see we've got the Morris here again. It was just about finished. The problem was the springs in the front. I put a Jaguar front end in the front of the car with standard Jaguar springs, but until I got this car to the weighbridge I didn't know what the front of it weighed. Now I've weighed the front of a Jaguar, and a Jag weighs about 1,000 kilos on the front axle. This only weighs 700. So we're about 300 kilos too light for the front end, or for the springs that are actually in the front end. So if you have a look down here, you can see that as she sits here, we're on the top out stops. So the springs are pushing hard up against the cross member, and the top control arm is down as far as it'll go. So we're actually topped out on the suspension. So what we've got to do is get some softer springs and definitely some shorter springs and put it in. So the purpose of this particular little video is to show you how to take Jaguar springs out of a Jag front end with simple tools. Alright, so what holds the spring in on your Jag front end is this big plate here. There's 6 bolts in it. We're going to pull it out with just 4 bolts. So you undo the 2 here that hold the sway bar in. Then we're going to take these 4 bolts out, but not taking them all out at once. Now, what I've bought is a piece of this threaded rod. This is 3/8 UNF high tensile threaded rod. It's 3 feet long, so you cut it into 4 lengths. Then you're going to take each length and screw it in. So you'll take 1 bolt out, screw this in, put a nut on it and tighten it up until you've got all 4 in and all 4 are supporting the spring seat. Now, I've already got that done on this side here, and this is what it looks like when you let the spring down. So basically all you're going to do is go along on these 4 nuts and undo them a little bit at a time and just keep bringing this down. Brings the spring out nice and safely without any danger, because there's a lot of energy stored in these springs. There's about 5 inches there that the spring compresses up before it reaches the bottom. Now these are 400 inch-pound springs. So 4 5s are 20, that's 2,000 pounds of compressed energy in it when that comes up to that. So you really got to be careful. If you put 2 nuts on the bottom of your rod, lock them together, then you can screw the rod into the lower control arm. It might be quite firm to get in there, depends on how much rust and scale is in the hole, or whether it's actually touching the edge of the plate at all. So screw it all the way in, and we'll tighten up our nut here, and that's it. We're ready to put the rest in. Alrighty, so as you can see we've got our 4 studs in here holding the plate right up. So now I'm going to use my long extension socket here, so we're going the right way, and just wind it down a little bit at a time on each one. As you can see, we're about halfway now. Still a lot of pressure on that spring there. So go a little further. So as you can see, we've wound that down about 5 inches, and we've finally got the spring loose. So now it's just a matter of undoing them all the way, dropping the spring out. Easy and safe. Alrighty, so I've got both of our springs in. Lower it down on the ground now and see whether we've got a bit of space between the top arm and this top out rubber. So let's get her on the ground and see how it looks. So we've got it down on the ground now, and as you can see, I'll check it on this side. As you can see, we've got nice clearance there on our bump rubber. Our bottom control arm is more or less horizontal where it needs to be, and we've dropped the height by about 2 inches. So it should improve the ride by quite a lot. So thanks for viewing.